That is a massive question. Take up a whole film, the difference between rugby league in Australia.
You could condense it.
Yeah. The biggest difference is obviously that the sport in this country is a regional sport. The first Kangaroos came over here, that's the Australian touring team, in 1908. There were test matches and internationals in places like Newcastle and Birmingham. The Kangaroos were on tour. They played a month. I don't think it was unbroken, but they played a month's worth of games in Wales. So when we say that rugby league in Britain hasn't expanded, we're not accurate. It's contracted. The people involved in the Northern Union and in the early in the game in the early years of the 20th century were actually quite expansionary in their outlook, very adventurous, and unfortunately their efforts didn't amount to much. So here in London, where I live, I cannot, before COVID, when we could go outside a lot more, I couldn't go a day without seeing a piece of rugby league merchandise on the street. I live in South London in Balham. I see more NRL, Super League, State of Origin merchandise than I see Premier League merchandise. But equally, any rugby league player who lives in this country could not be guaranteed to be recognised if he walked around in London all afternoon. There's a weird contrast there. There's a dichotomy there. I think it speaks to the sport's potential, its latent popularity outside the heartlands, but also its absolute failure to capitalise on that potential.